So a buddy of mine calls me this morning and he's walking through this challenge in his business. He says, Mike, I have never seen the record number of canceled contracts like we did in 2021. He said, I'm just blown away by this. And so he starts going down this rabbit hole and he's like, here's what I think is going on. I think because of COVID, I think a lot of people got the paycheck protection money. And so a lot of people took some time off, didn't really put enough energy into business development. And he goes down that rabbit hole for a minute and he says, then I think people's expectations have just gotten so out of whack over the last couple of years. And then he goes down that rabbit hole. Then he goes down another rabbit hole and he's talking about this other problem. And I say, hey, man, I've known you for a long time, and no one ever cancels your contracts or has any issues with you. I said, it sounds to me like you are not setting the proper expectations with your customers right now. And it just got quiet on the phone. And he's like, tell me more about that. And I said, so when you're talking to customers, are you telling them exactly what to expect? Or are you telling them what could happen? And when I say that is, if you think it's going to be a 4 to 6 month project, and that's the best case scenario, is that what you're telling them in order to sell the project? Or are you telling them, hey, this normally takes 9 to 12 months. We're going to try to do it sooner, and then hopefully we'll get it done faster for you, and then over deliver. And he's like, well, I think what we've been doing is really telling people that it's going to take 4 to 6 months, and then there's some hiccups and it takes 7 months, and they're totally ticked off by that. I'm like, I would be too. You're a month late. He's like, but that's better than the industry, standards and what normally happens. I'm like, I don't care, man. What's happening is you're not properly setting expectations with customers. What you're doing is over-promising and under-delivering, and what you should be doing is under-promising and over-delivering on stuff. And he's like, well, I'm trying to tell people, what our average is because I want the work instead of somebody else. And I'm like, and that's the problem. You're not setting the proper expectations. So we went round and round on this one several times. I'm like, look, what probably happened is you started off setting proper expectations and people loved what you were doing. You got better at what you did and you got a little bit more relaxed in your sales cycle about setting expectations. And instead of saying it's going to take us about a year, you started closing in on that as you guys got better. And now you're telling them 4 to 6 months, and these things are just blowing up in your face left and right. It's still half the time that it would normally take another company, but you told them how long it was going to take. And now they're soured to all of this. And so a lot of times when I look at a company and there's things like this going wrong, where you're like, Mike, we just can't find good customers, or all of our customers complain about this one thing or two things or whatever it is, it's something internally that we have done or not done a lot of times with setting expectations. So if we go back to the pitch and how we're communicating what we're going to do for a client, we have to start with not necessarily the worst case scenario, but here's what you should expect. Here's what you should expect. And you may full well know, hey, I'm only going to take this much time, but I'm going to tell them this much. Because guess what? Something might happen. COVID could happen or something else. Like, there's so many things out of your control to say that every time we do a job, this is how long it's going to take. There's too many factors outside of your control. So set a reasonable expectation that it's actually going to take this long. And then anything under that, the customer is going to be really excited about. Now, that's just about the length of the project. The same goes for the cost of the project or anything like that. When you're dealing with government, a lot of times there's paperwork back and forth and all those kind of things. And so you may win a contract and think you're going to start work on March 1st when actually you've won the contract, but you're not starting work till September 1st. And you've told your whole team and your subs and the people that are on your bench, they're going to start work. when in reality they're not. And so you've set poor expectations. So if we can just realign our own expectations in the sales process, it will help the customer. And look, you may not win some work because you said what was the truth. And you're just going to have to live with that. You really are. But I guarantee you, the next time that customer is looking for somebody to do the same work that they hired you to do, they're going to appreciate the truth that, hey, you know what? You told me it was going to take 6 to 9 months, and this other company told me it was going to take 3 to 4 weeks, and here they are coming in on the 9-month mark. We really appreciate you told us the truth on that. I guarantee you, people appreciate that. So when you're looking at your sales process, where can you under-promise and over-deliver? Now, I'll caution you, don't under-promise by a mile. Don't say, hey, the average person takes 2 years, knowing the average person takes 9 months. Say, a year. That's a good estimate there. Under-promise, over-deliver, set the right expectations, and then anything you do on top of that is just a bonus. Customers are going to be wowed by that. So it's not hard to do, but it's an easy step that we skip, and all of a sudden, all these bad things start happening in our business, and we don't know why. So this is one of the main reasons why. So if you have questions about this, as always, you know how to reach me. We'll see you next time.